All right, the lines are muted. The recording has started. It is 9 a.m. Mountain Time. We've got people calling in from all over the world, and I am so excited. They are not going to be disappointed. We've got an incredible call lined up for you guys today. For those of you who are brand new to our Get Amped call, this is our Get Amped call. This is a call that we do every Saturday morning. It's all about waking up with the six-figure earner, getting our mindset right, getting amped for the week, getting some business building tips, getting some testimonials on products, getting all of the things that we need to get amped for the week so that we can take our Zingo lifestyle forward. And we've had some great speakers, from multi-million-dollar earners to Robert Kiyosaki to our own presidents of the company, and we've got some founders lined up. We've got Eric Alexander lined up in the next couple of weeks to come on, and we've got a great guest speaker for you today. So without further ado, I'm just going to jump right into the call so that we can get you guys amped for the week. I know that the information is going to be great, so we're going to jump right into it. So a little bit about our guest speaker today. He needs little to no introduction. He is a social media guru. He has got his brand. He's got his team Entourage on the map. They're growing. They're popping ranks. He was sharing some numbers with me last night that were just mind-blowing. He's got people on his team that were doubling, almost tripling their volume last month, for the month of July. This is the first day of August. I can't believe it. We're already into August. And they were tripling, their numbers last month. And I was like, hey, congratulations. And, this is the type of individual he is. He says, it's not me, it's the team, it's the family. Everybody's working together. Everything is just gelling. Things are going great. And I would love for him to come on and share with you. So, but I want to, before do a proper introduction, he is somebody who was with this company from the very beginning. He, like me, took a little bit of a hiatus. We like to say that we went to MLM rehab together. But I think that's part of our story. I love being able to see that, let people know that we've seen what's out there. We've been out there. We've looked at the other side of the fence. We've seen what's out there, and you never truly know what you have until you don't have it anymore. And so that's part of the story. And he's back. He's back with a vengeance. He's back for life here. We're lifers now. And we've got doing some great things. He has, he's just blowing through the ranks. He's growing a team. He is an example. He's somebody that I look to quite often for advice on what we can do to continually get better here. He's a friend. He's a mentor. His name is Armando DeGuzman Jr. Welcome to the call, my friend.
Whoop, whoop. What's up, Ryan? How you doing, buddy?
Good. Welcome to the call. So I know you were out late with the family last night, the team doing a dinner celebration. You were celebrating a birthday, and so welcome to the call this morning. I'm grateful that you're here with us today.
Thank you, Ryan. It's a huge honor, and quite honestly, I'm just blown away that I would even be considered for the call, especially after you rattling off some of the other guest speakers we had on here. So it's a really big deal for me. So I want to thank you for that.
Well, it's well deserved, my friend. So, let's jump right into this. One of the things, the reason, there's many reasons why we wanted you to come on this call. But, there's people that are listening to this call today that are brand new. There's people that's been with us for 13 years. You've got multi-million-dollar earners listening to this call. You've got people that don't quite know what the Zingo lifestyle is. Somebody probably twisted their arm, forced them to come in and get on this call. And so today, what I'd really like for you to do is, first of all, share your story a little bit, and then maybe dive into why the Zingo lifestyle is for you, why it's easy for you to promote it with your team, and why you're seeing the growth that you're seeing on your team and how that's all working. So, Armando, I'm going to turn the time over to you, my friend.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Ryan. And again, I just want to emphasize to people that, I got done with my little morning meditation routine, and part of that is gratitude, right? And I was reflecting on everything that's going on right now in my life, and I was just really grateful for everything. And this company is definitely in my thoughts all the time in that gratitude, because I think about the journey that I've had over the last 12 years, and it hasn't been easy, and I'm still grateful for those struggles. And as you mentioned, I've been around this company since the very beginning through my father, Dr. DeGuzman, who's one of the 500Ks, for those of you guys who don't know him. But quite honestly, I've been around this industry since I was 9 years old. So, I've seen a lot of companies come and go. My dad was involved with 13 different companies prior to really having success with XANGO. And so I've seen a lot of companies that are just not really something that I would really want to get involved in. And when XANGO came around in November 2002 and my dad got involved, of course, I was leery because he had failed 13 times. And it wasn't until I seen the success that he had a year into it that I realized that there was something here. There was something magical happening. And I'd never before gotten involved in network marketing until XANGO came along. And that was the start of a real journey for me in this industry. And I was in college at the time studying business and pretty much on a path to, everybody tells you go to school, get good grades, get an education, and go to work for somebody else. And so I was convinced that was the path to financial freedom, right? And it wasn't until I saw that my dad was blowing it up in this company that I decided to join him in the venture. And it's amazing where this company, where I've seen it grow from its humble beginnings that it started with just 10 employees, I recall, to where it is now in 43 different markets. And I'm just like pinching myself because I feel very blessed to have seen that growth. And I tell a lot of people that it's similar to like when people see the pictures of Apple and they see the pictures of, Steve Jobs and all the founders there in their garage. I kind of feel like I was part of something special. And the story is still continuing, right? So I got involved, and as you mentioned, I worked the business really hard, and over a period of 5 years, I managed to build an organization that had about 1,000 people underneath me, primarily in Mexico. And so I got to the rank of premier. And unfortunately, as life would have it, I made some mistakes in the way that I structured my organization, and it cost me a lot of volume. And ultimately, I was in my mid-20s, and I pretty much, it was a crushing, defeating blow for me. And at the time, I really just kind of lost faith in myself, lost faith in the company, lost faith in the industry, quite honestly. And I decided to, as you had alluded to, take a hiatus from XANGO. I tried some other network marketing companies out there that shall remain unnamed that really didn't pan out for me either. And that's when I decided that really it was a matter of need that I decided to put my degree to use. And for the last 5 years, I've been working in the aerospace and defense industry. And I just like to tell people that straight out of college, I was living a lifestyle because of XANGO that most people can only dream of. And it's because of that residual income, right? It's the freedom that affords you. And so when I went to go work in corporate America, it was an eye-opener for me because I realized how the majority of the world lives, how they're living paycheck to paycheck, and how they really don't have the time freedom that we all deserve, quite honestly. And so I always realized, I knew that path for me, with my current employment right now was not the end game, and I've always been searching for other opportunities. And, as fate would have it, sometimes they say that if you're looking for something, first place to look is right under your nose, right? And I really have to thank my father and my stepmother, Patricia, who I heard on the line, because they never really gave up hope on me. They always kept trying to, build me up and put me back together, from the devastating blow that I suffered. I went through a bankruptcy, a foreclosure, and so my self-esteem, my confidence was pretty low. And so they'd always been trying to pull me back into XANGO because they see the value, and of course they're rocking in their businesses. And I attended a few conventions from 2008, after 2008, and never really saw anything that really inspired me to get back into the company. And it wasn't until October 2013 that I get a call from my dad, and he invites me to dinner. And I'm sitting there with my fiance, who's now my wife, Stephanie, and I have dinner with my dad and Patricia, and they start telling me about what's going on with the company. And of course, I'm totally, opposed to network marketing and XANGO and the whole industry. And I just didn't want to hear it. I was just really hurt by all the hardship that I had undergone. And there was one thing that my dad really said that kind of stood out. And he said, "You're going to regret it." And that was like, wow, that is big, because, that regret is like my number one fear in life. I think that dying with regret is something that is just pretty scary for me. I want to make sure that I really live a full life and I make use of all the time that I'm given on this earth. And so when he said that, I realized I reflected on where my life currently was, and I said to myself, what am I doing on this, 40-40 plan, working 40 hours a week, planning to retire in 40 years and then live my life? So I realized I've got to do something, and maybe it's time that I get over my failures and I take a look at what's going on with this company again. And I really did a compare and contrast, and I realized that the lifestyle that I was living prior to working my 9-to-5 job was completely different. And even though I wasn't a $1 million club earner, I was making enough money to really have freedom. And that's really what it's about. It's about freedom, right? And so I decided to attend that convention, the Bold convention, where I tell people that I was reborn. And what I saw there just blew my mind. And so you guys kind of have to understand that the perspective that I have is coming from, having been around this industry since I was 9 years old, seeing a lot of bad companies, and then being in XANGO and being able to rub shoulders with some of the top income earners in this company over the last 12 years, and really learning about, what makes a good company, what doesn't. And so what I started seeing was there were certain elements in play that the timing was crucial, is what I came to realize. And it wasn't just, there's lots of things that have been introduced in that timeline ever since 2013 that's escalating, in my opinion, is going to be the next growth curve for this company. And so I tell people, my team gets tired of me telling them this, but I always talk about the 4 stages of growth for a multi-level marketing company. And you have formulation, you have concentration, you have momentum, and then you have stability. And so all companies will go through those 4 phases. Some, it's very short-lived, 3 to 5 years. XANGO, 12 years. We're in stability. Prior to 2013, I tell people we were stable, 43 different countries. The business is just stable, I said. But now with the introduction of the Bold plan, the Zalo brand, that was really, in my opinion, the start of a new S-curve. And there's been several other things that the company has been doing strategically that are panning out to really create the next growth curve for this company. So when you consider those 4 stages in a network marketing company, the best time to get involved is the concentration phase. And the reason for that is because formulation is when you just don't know if it's going to pan out or not, right? Concentration is when the income testimonials are there, the product stories are there, the tools are out there, there's a support team, all those different things are in play. And so you get involved right before the momentum, and you get taken away with the momentum. It's as they say, when the tide rises, the ships that are out there will rise with the tide. And so what I saw there was the opportunity to get involved with almost a ground floor opportunity without having any of the risk of a startup. And that is huge because, I think you and some of the other leaders have rattled off some of these statistics that, over the last 60 years, there's been thousands of companies launched in this industry. And the reality of the matter is there's only 60 that are over 10 years old that have made it past a decade. And XANGO's in that category. So I think from that standpoint, the company is primed for growth, and everything that the company has been doing, little things that they've been doing that are having a huge impact on the growth and leading up to this concentration and momentum phase that we're about to experience. It's just nothing short of amazing. You mentioned some of the growth that my team is having. It's just amazing because historically the summer is a lull. And I just went into my back office right now and I looked at some of the numbers over the last 3 months, and we've got some people that are 314% growth over the last 90 days, 110% growth over the last 90 days, 106, 76%. And it blows my mind. And I'm telling people, when we get out of the summer and we get into Rush Convention coming up, with the new product launches and all the different things that the company continues to do to lay down the foundation for us to really take us to the next stages of growth for this company, where we're going to have 1 million thousanders and be $1 billion a year company. It's pretty exciting. So I look at all those things, and I'm just really excited to be here at this point in time. And I don't believe in coincidences. I wake up every morning and I'm grateful for everything that's happened, including all of my failures, because it's really made me the person that I am today. And it's helped me to learn some very important lessons: humility, always stay humble, and just a little bit about what is my strategy, the way that we kind of lead our team. And as I mentioned to you yesterday, I view this company as family, quite honestly. And I've said that from stage, and telling people that this is like an extended family for me. I take this business very seriously because I know how we can impact people's lives. I've seen it firsthand over the years, and that's what I keep telling my team. I tell them I can't wait to meet the new people that we haven't met yet, whose lives we're going to impact and whose lives are going to impact us. And so we're a family, and that's the importance of. Kelly already reached out to me yesterday, and she wanted me to kind of highlight the importance of staying connected, right? And not only staying connected to the company, it's important to stay connected to the company, but also important to stay connected to the team. But more importantly than that, take it a step further. If you're really going to build a business, you have to build people. Jim Rohn said that. We don't build a business, we build people, and people will go out and build a business. So really my real focus, daily focus, is working with the people that want it for themselves and helping them overcome their obstacles, whether it's in this business or in life in general, and just really being that mentor and being that person, that friend, and taking it that step further, because it really helps us perform as a team. And it's just amazing what's starting to happen now. And I love the analogy. I'll talk about an analogy of, I think some of you guys may have heard it, and it's the bamboo analogy, Chinese bamboo. And, you take a look at Chinese bamboo and you plant a seed, and it takes 4 years before this seed even sprouts out of the ground. And a lot of times it's pretty funny, because this business is that way. We think that we'll plant a seed, and because it doesn't grow immediately, we forget about it. And sometimes it's just like the Chinese bamboo. It takes 4 years, and what's happening in that four year period is it's growing a foundation. It's growing its root structure so that it becomes solid, so that in its 5th year, within 6 weeks, when you see the first sprout, within 6 weeks, it sprouts up 90 feet in the air. And so what it's been doing over the last 4 years, it's been building that foundation that can support this 90-foot tree. And so I tell people that that's exactly how this business is, and that's how you have to really view the people that you're sponsoring. You have to consider them. You're planting a seed of hope in them. And that's what happened with me. My father and my stepmother, they planted a seed of hope in me, and this company helped nurture that through the events and everything. So it's really important that we stay connected to the company, stay connected to your teams. If you're leading teams, it's important you do weekly, masterminds, whatever schedule, works for you. We do Mondays, and those fit pretty well with all the other activities that XANGO has, the weekly webinar trainings, the AMP calls like today. Super important, because what that does is it really keeps your fire burning and your passion burning, right? And so when you're all together, you bring a lot of embers close together, and the fire burns really hot, and that's ultimately what it takes to build this business. Everybody's energy has to be high, because I love what Gordon Morton says, that, really a sale is a transfer of an emotion, the transfer of energy. And so when we go out there and talk to people, their energy is high, their emotions are high, because we as a team, our energy is really high. And that's really important, to just manage that energy and that growth, and just be patient, because it takes time. Some people are at different points in their journey, and they have different things that they're working through. They have, some people are comfortable doing some things, some people are uncomfortable doing other things, but always making a point to just stretch people a little bit further than where they're used to each and every time, and that's the key to growth. again, I'm just super excited with everything that's happening right now, all leading up to the Rush convention. I tell people that is, in my opinion, really going to be the time when we blow the lid off of this. And the company itself, they've been planting those seeds. They've been building the foundation. You have the XBA, you have the Power of 3, you have the sampling, you have the websites, you have the AMP calls, you have the AMP app, all the different tools that are coming out. It's this company laying down that foundation. And in my opinion, you're going to start to see this sprouting, and you're going to start to see people breaking ranks quicker than what we've seen before. And that's when momentum is really going to start to kick in, and it's going to be really exciting times. Because if you look at it, and I go back to this 4 stages of MLM growth, in Zango, 75% of the $1 Million Club members got involved in the first 2 years. And so if you look at the launch of Zalo, October 2013, we're in that phase now. We're in that phase where people on this line right now, in the next 5 to 10 years or whatever it takes them, will be the new MDC members. And that's pretty exciting. All the trip incentives, everything that's happening, I tell people that I'm so excited, not for myself, but for them, because I've been blessed by this company. I can't wait for them to experience all the blessings that Zango brings with it. And, it doesn't happen by itself. It really takes work, but it doesn't take an extraordinary amount of skill. It just takes an extraordinary amount of will and a good team. And if you're not in a good team, you can create a good team. Anybody can. So that's kind of my message to everybody. I'll turn it back to you, Ryan. I don't know if you have any questions or whatever you guys want to talk about.
You definitely touched on a lot of really good points. And the thing that I love about you, Armando, is that you're just so real. Like, I don't think that anybody truly has to question your sincerity ever, because it always comes through in your message. And I think that that's something that's really important. On the weekly webinar training this past week, we were talking about the art of closing. One of those was about being, just sincerely honest and true to the story. And so when you sit there and you talk about, where this company's at, where we've been, where we're at, where we're going, there's a true belief in your voice. And so maybe, and I'm just going to put you on the spot here just a little bit longer, but would you maybe talk about, because I think that because of where you've been, because of where you've gone and what you're doing today, why is your belief level, I know you talked about the tools, I know you talked a lot about some of these things, but I believe life is a journey, right? And we're either progressing or digressing. And so, there's a mind shift that you've also made personally to be able to do that, because we talk about the tools, we talk about all of that, your stepmom and your dad, continually, dripping on you. But there was a mind shift that came for you that now there's just a certain belief that you have that there's nothing that can stop you. What do you think was that mind shift?
Well, Ryan, that's you're touching on one of my passions right there, because something I didn't mention is I DJ. I used to DJ. I still DJ. I went from a club DJ to a bedroom DJ now. Usually it's the opposite. You go from a bedroom DJ into a club DJ. And I tell people that there was something that they say focus on your purpose and your passion, right? And that will lead you to success. And I started thinking about what was it that I really loved and enjoyed about DJing. And it was the ability to move people through music. And music is a vibration, right? It's a frequency. And then I came to realize that I'm really passionate about working with people and helping inspire them. And if you think about it, that's really a form of moving them as well, right? And it's not through music, but it's through words or it's through actions. And it's just another type of vibration, another frequency. So what really happened with me is when I started believing in myself, when I started really just, and it's a progression, right? It's like, what is it James Allen? But he talks about that the mind is like a garden, a kindergarten, right? You can either plant flowers or seed flowers or the weeds will grow there in that place. And so, I always tell my team, I tell them, you have to make a conscious effort to just improve yourself on a daily basis. A lot of us have hopes and aspirations, and we look 5 years in the future or 10 years in the future, and we have kind of a vision of the ideal of what our life would be. And the reality of the matter, though, is a lot of us don't really have a path to get there. And sometimes the change seems so drastic and seems like such a long leap, but it really just begins with a single step and a single act. And I always tell people on a daily basis, at least make one conscious effort to improve yourself on a daily basis. Whether that's reading for 15, 30 minutes, if reading's not your thing, I'm big into audiobooks, or going into YouTube, and just researching certain motivational speakers or, people that call out to you. There's just a wealth of knowledge out there. And I think part of that is, we're in the information age, right? And I read somewhere else in another book that it's no longer the information age, but it's the intuition age. And I think it's because we're kind of becoming more connected, but I think there's a global shift in consciousness, and it's just making having that desire to improve your life each and every day in every aspect. And so I'm very passionate about that, and my team will bear testament to that I'm always telling them, what are you doing today to improve your life? Not just in this business. This business happens to be a great vehicle to do so because it puts you out of your comfort zone to grow. And I've grown by leaps and bounds just over the last, year and a half. And if you really want to have a large organization, you have to grow yourself. You have to grow yourself first, and then you pay it forward and help grow your people. Because how can you really lead an organization, of 1,000 people or 500 people or whatever your goal is, if you can't really lead yourself, right? So that's really important that we focus on our own personal development, our personal growth, and then we pay it forward and help other people grow. And that's, quite honestly, that's how this business grows. That's what I've learned.
I love it. Absolutely love it. And I think that's a perfect note, because that truly embodies what it is that you're doing and who you are and how you do what you do. So I really appreciate you touching on that one aspect. Now, I know that everybody on this call got something out of what you were talking about today, because I got it. I felt something. I heard something. I definitely got something out of this as well. And so you guys have another opportunity. Obviously, Armando was talking about going to Vegas, going to the Rush convention. We are so excited. Like, we're actually trying to find more room. We've sold so many tickets that are coming, so we're so excited to have people coming to convention. It's going to be an incredible event. I truly believe, that you guys have heard me say this, and you'll hear me say it again and again. This is going to be the launch pad, the new face of Zingo, where you're going to see that we'll do more in the next 12 years than we did in the last 12 years. And that's something that's going to be extremely exciting as well. And so with that being said, there is an event called Zingo United following the event. You can go to Zingo United right now. Armando DeGuzman is going to be there training people on social media and training people how to do social media and how to grow your businesses using social media. Right now, there's an early bird special that is only $25. If you go to Zingo United, it's spelled exactly as it sounds, ZingoUnited.com, you still have an opportunity to buy the early bird ticket. It's $25. It's the Sunday following the Rush convention, and it starts at 8 in the morning and goes till 5 in the afternoon. And it's just solid content of leaders who are out there doing it, teaching people how to do it. I'm going. I'm excited. Hopefully I get a front row seat. I can't wait to watch and listen and learn. So make sure that you do that. And in true Zingo fashion, I'm going to end with a quote. It's one of the quote when I sit here and listen to Armando talk. It's something that I truly believe this, and this is why I wanted him to touch on mindset. It says that almost every successful person begins with two beliefs. One, the future can be better than the present. And two, I have the power to make it so. Every successful person begins with two beliefs. One, the future can be better than the present. And two, I have the power to make it so. And I truly believe that when I listen to Armando and I listen to the founders and I listen to the executive team and I listen to all of the leaders, that is truly where we're going. This is what we're doing. We have those beliefs, and we are going to make the next wave of Zingo be bigger than it's ever been before. And I know that we are doing that because we have the right leaders in the field. We have the right leaders on this call. We have the right leaders at corporate. Everything is aligned to make this next wave the greatest wave in the company's history, and I can't wait to be a part of that with each and every one of you. I want to thank Armando for coming on and sharing your heart, sharing your passion. I want to thank each and every one of you from calling in from all over the world. We've got the Isle of Man, we've got Denmark, we've got Australia. We even had somebody from Japan calling in this morning. And then obviously right here in the U.S. and Canada. We're so grateful and blessed to have you guys here, blessed to be part of this incredible Zingo nation, blessed to be working alongside you guys. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you for coming on the call. Armando, you rock. Thank you so much. Have a blessed weekend, everybody. Goodbye.
Thank you, Ryan. Whoop, whoop. Make it limitless, guys.